Well, somebody's going to be famous in your industry. So it can be you or it can be your competitor. So I say, let's make it you. You've got to know the demographic. You want to be newsworthy. You want to create great hooks. And then you need to make sure your newsworthy story has to be about value to their audience.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Got a couple of questions for you. Here's a question. How would you like, let's start this over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. I got a question for you. How would you like to get huge free exposure for your business? Would you like to learn about 100 plus affordable ways to easily create buzz for your business? Would you like to be able to master public relations on a shoestring budget? My guest today is a master publicity strategist. Her company, PR for Anyone, shows people how to generate exposure for their businesses. She's the author of 2 best-selling books on public relations. She has generated for her clients, get this, over 1 billion views and over $100 million in sales from free publicity. She's also on-air lifestyle expert, QVC guest host, a podcast host of Living Ageless and Bold, ranked top 5% globally. So get ready for some serious value from our guest today, Christina Daves. Say hello, Christina.
Hey, Marco, thanks for having me.
You kidding? Thank you for taking time to be on the show. We really appreciate it. Christina, everybody would love PR and it's challenging and difficult to do. How did you get to, your story is interesting, how you invented a product. I forgot to mention you're also an inventor.
Yeah.
And how you got into this space. You did it for a product of your own, I understand, and then
I
Awesome.
did. And I call myself the accidental entrepreneur in this one, literally, because I broke my foot, ended up in one of those big, awful, ugly medical boots. Probably everyone on here listening has been in one of those. And I created a fashion line for it. Great idea. I had owned a retail store before. I'm like, oh, I've got this. Well, wholesale is a whole different thing. Medical is a whole different thing. And I had hired and I say this in quotations, coach, who was going to help me get it on QVC and, do this and do that. Long story short, the guy stole $24,000 from me. But the good news is I was broke and I couldn't afford advertising. I couldn't afford a PR firm. So I had to figure it out myself. And I guess I was pretty darn good at it because I went to the library, I researched, and I figured out a system that works, and it's worked for the last 12 years for people that I've worked with. But I started it with myself. And in my first year of business, I was in 50 media outlets, including Steve Harvey, Dr. Oz, the Washington Post, Fox, NBC. It goes on and on. So it's doable. It's not hard. I was in desperation mode. So anyone can figure it out. I'll just help them speed it along because I made all the mistakes along the way.
Well, I've been in desperation mode, so I can relate.
Yeah.
But I wasn't always as good as you. I actually wasn't good at all at getting public relations. I had to figure it out with advertising. And so I've always done it maybe the easy way, maybe the hard way, however you want to look at it, as far as, spending ad dollars to get the traffic, building the right landing pages, coming up with, building an email database, communicating, following up with prospects until they nurture them, until they finally become clients.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, how do people get all this free media? How do they get the PR to actually perform and so on? So let me ask you this. What do you need to have in place, so to speak, before you can even pitch the media to consider you for PR?
Marco, that is an excellent question. And 4 years ago, before COVID, I really didn't focus as strongly as I did do now with my clients, because now everybody's online. Everybody has an online presence. Before COVID, it was kind of like, but you know this. I mean, we worked from in our homes for years. So you have to check out when the media checks you out. And this is your customers and your clients too. And I'm sure in what you do, you work with your clients on this. We have a split second to grab their attention. So when they land, and we don't know where they're going to land, might be your LinkedIn profile, might be your Instagram, could be your website. We don't know what's going to happen when they put Google into you. But when a journalist, a client, a customer lands on your website, they need to know instantly what you do, what pain point you solve, who you serve, and how you do it. And that can be in a tagline. It can often be in a photograph. But that's like the first thing I do when I work with my clients. And they all panic. I'm like, no, we're not going to rebuild your whole website. What I have found is usually everybody has this line of gold and it's buried on the bottom of page 4 of the website. It's like, no, that's it. Let's take that. Let's move it to the top, because you all know what you're good at. You know what it is you do for people, but sometimes you don't realize where you need to say that wow, that instantly when they get to you. And you just have to show the media that you're credible when they land on your website, because they're going to send people to your website. And if you're not a credible expert when somebody lands on it, they're going to take somebody who is, and you might be better in your industry than that person. But the person who looks good, who's out there putting themselves out there on social media, that's the one the media wants to use, because that helps them with their audience. It provides value to their audience, and it helps them get their message out.
I interviewed somebody the other day, and lost for a name right now, but the concept that she was talking about was really calling clients and your current clients and interviewing them about exactly what was it that made them buy your product. It was a great idea. I know I haven't done it yet, and certainly I do surveys, but she was pointing out that most of us, we build our website, we build our sales funnels, we build our messaging based on what we think are the features and benefits that our clients want, or that what we think is going to sell. And the people who buy our products and services may have done what you talked about, dug down deep into the process before they finally made the decision to buy. And wherever that was in the flow, could and maybe should be right up on top. And you don't know that without talking to clients, deep interviews, and saying, what is it that made you buy? And, if you were going to tell somebody else about us, what would you tell them about us to refer us? And that's when you're going to find out, as you said, not only, like hiring you to figure it out, but asking your clients will help you figure out what needs to, to develop that tagline, to develop your main message across the top. So I thought that was pretty powerful. And you're saying the same thing.
Absolutely. We think we know what to tell them. We think we know how to fix them, but that's not it. We need to know what they think they need, because you can take care of it. You can coach them and fix whatever the situation is. But if you're not speaking to them in the language that they want to hear, they're never going to hire you. And the media is not going to use you. You can switch the narrative once they've hired you. Be like, well, what we really need to do is this. But if you don't start from the beginning, they want to talk about themselves. They want to, what's in it for me is what I always tell my clients. What's in it for somebody to work with you? Talk to them, not what you think they need. What do they think they need?
Perfect. Well, before we go any further, I've got some great questions for Christina, but we're going to take a moment and hear from our sponsor, Marketing Boost, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. A whole lot more from Christina coming up.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
You just heard from marketingboost.com. And what is Marketing Boost? Guys, if you're in business for yourself and you need to motivate people to take action, or you need to motivate your staff to take action, or your downline, you could consider Marketing Boost. What do we offer? Complimentary hotel stays in 130 destinations around the world from 3 to 7 nights that you can offer to your clients, your staff, your community to take action and buy your products and services. For example, you can use our hotel savings cards. They come in increments of $1, $2, $3, and $500 that you can offer to people, for example, to book onto a no obligation Zoom call with you and reward them with the incentive if they show up on time. You can reward them with our restaurant savings vouchers. They come in $25, $50, or $100 and $200 increments. They're good in any zip code throughout the USA and Canada. And you can use those, for example, to say, hey, join our newsletter and we'll give you a $25 restaurant certificate, or download my PDF, or join our webinar and we'll reward you with an incentive. So you're just putting a little cherry or ice cream on, ice cream on the cake, a little bonus to incentivize people to take action. Check out marketingboost.com. We're back with Christina here talking about PR, how to get free exposure. Of course, she's not free, but the concept is great. But once you get that momentum going and you start getting booked on outlets, this is essentially free traffic. So tell us more, Christina. How does that happen? How do you start pitching yourselves? Once I went through that first steps, you said, okay, I got to get my media, my
Yes.
pitch deck in place, and I've got to get my website looking great and my LinkedIn page looking awesome and showing that I'm an expert authority, and so on. Now, where do I go? How do I start pitching?
Yeah. So I have what's called the Get PR Famous formula. And people sometimes will say, Christina, I don't want to be famous. Like, well, somebody's going to be famous in your industry. So it can be you or it can be your competitor. So I say, let's make it you. So I have a really easy 3-step process. You want to be newsworthy. You want to create great hooks, which is your subject line. Because if you don't hook them in, you're never going to get your story read. And then you need to make sure you're pitching the right journalist. You don't want to send your business story to the food editor because the food editor is the only person you could find online. You need to spend the time to figure out who are those journalists. You need to give them a really valuable, newsworthy story. Don't just, and it's not about you. That's really important. Your newsworthy story has to be about value to their audience. You've got to know the demographic. I tell the story all the time. I'm on my local morning shows, and there are 2 main stations that have ABC and Fox have the morning shows, and that's what I'm on. NBC doesn't have a morning show. So if I pitched them my lifestyle concepts in the morning, it's hardcore news. They don't have some, like I was on TV this morning doing spring cleaning hacks. The NBC people would be like, what are you doing? Read the room. And then they're not going to listen if I did have a hardcore news story, because I'm not listening to them, kind of like with the customer thing. So have that newsworthy story that fits that journalist, that fits that audience. Know how to give them a hook, a great subject line, so they read your great story idea and pitch the right person, and you'll be light years ahead of your competitors to get the yes.
Wow. So what is the process? We talk about, or you've written books, and it's part of your in your LinkedIn profile, you talked about doing it on a shoestring budget. What is that process to especially try to do it on a shoestring budget, which you count me in for that?
Well, literally, the price you pay is learning how to do it, learning how to do the strategy. And my grandmother used to always say this: once you know something, nobody can take that away from you. So learning what's newsworthy, and it doesn't have to be you, the business owner, doing it. You can hire somebody part-time to do it. You can have your marketing team, depending on what size your company is. I've even been brought into companies that have a PR team to kind of ignite the fire and get some new ideas created. But it's creating a strategy, having an annual pitching plan, which is something that I teach as well. Like, what can you pitch every single month? Because you want to stay in front of those journalists consistently. That's how I've been on TV every month for 7 years, because I started out and I pitched. I got a lot of no's, you guys. You got to be ready for the no, and don't say, oh, I got a no. And I'll tell you, sometimes my producer, who I know so well, will say no to me. And I'm like, it still feels like a little punch in the gut. I'm like, what do you mean no? But having the plan in place, having the confidence in what you do, giving good pitches, sending it to the right person, having the right hook, and building that strategy, and you will land in the media.
So I'm looking at your website, which is very,
Yeah.
very enticing, by the way. Congratulations. Love it.
Thank you.
Love the colors, love everything. So, but tell us where should I go here to get the most value? I guess, where would you guide me first to go here?
Oh my goodness. I mean, you can go over to and I'm even looking, it's not on the top page. So what's under success? That's
Is it,
interesting.
should we head over, I guess, the Let's Talk button, right? Go ahead and scroll
Yeah.
down
You
and
want to have a call? Yeah.
yeah,
So
you
you can
get
have a
book a
strategy session.
perfect. And is that free or do you charge for the strategy session?
No, those are free. Those are free. Let's figure out. I'll be really transparent with you. I don't work with everybody. I've got to have that passion. I've got to know that I think I can really help you. I've had people, who've come with a widget and I've seen the widget done better, and I can't do it. So let's have a call. Let's see what your goals are. If you come to me and you don't even have a business yet and you're telling me you want to be on CNN or MSNBC or Fox, and I can't help you with that. So we have to have realistic expectations. If you've been on local TV for years and years and you want to, break into the big leagues, I can totally help you with that too.
Cool. So we're
But
here looking
we'd
at
have to have that chat. Yes.
We're here on LinkedIn as well here. And so
Yeah.
you can find Christina Daves on LinkedIn and see her, again, her skill is to help you. If you are the authority, the expert, have a business, she can help you get on Today and Fox and CBS and ABC. So you can really, truly brag that, as seen on and so on. Now is your process to just get, articles printed, using like press releases done, or is it a whole lot more than that?
No press releases. No press releases. I'll get on my soapbox. Don't do a press release. They're going to cost you $500 to $800. I have interviewed gazillions of journalists. They don't read them. Now, if you cure cancer, I would blast that in a press release. But as an author, a coach, an industry expert, a thought leader, subject matter expert, your best success is going to be cultivating a X number of journalists in your space that you are regularly communicating with. That then when something happens and it's breaking news, they're coming to you, Marco, to talk about, hey, what happened here? Like back when the Redskins changed their name, I was inundated with, stations all across the country. I'm in DC, but, what do you think about this? What does this mean for the team? What is this? Ellen had some branding issues, and the same thing, because I had constantly been pitching PR, marketing, branding types of stories. And then when something happens, they're like, you make their jobs easier. Oh, Christina always sends me great story ideas. She was on a year ago. She was so good. Let's just get her, pipe her in today. We're done. Make it easy.
Wow. Folks, we're going to take a minute and hear from our sponsor, Automation Booster. We'll be right back with Christina. I've got a whole bunch of more questions for her. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
You just heard from Automation Booster. And if you're in business and you don't have a CRM system set up, if you don't have automation so you're making money while you sleep, if leads are coming in, if people visiting your website, filling out a form, if you're not immediately responding via email, text, voicemail, broadcasting, following up almost instantly, then you're already behind the 8 ball with your business. And you need to automate these things and use artificial intelligence. It's all available in one platform like I've never seen before. I've been an internet marketer since 1996. Never have I seen a platform that has everything all in one place for one affordable price like Automation Booster. So go check that out. And here we are back with Christina Daves. Christina, when it comes to PR, it's like this mystical, magical thing, is how do I Well, one, how do I qualify to get newsworthy content? That's always one of my biggest challenges. What makes it, how do I make my story or anyone's, whoever is listening, my story or my product newsworthy? Are there any
Yeah.
enlightening
Yeah.
thoughts you can give us on that?
And I want to go back real quick to when you said the mystical, magical, because I hear that all the time. I just want everyone to embrace the fact that media today is 24/7, 365. They need content around the clock. It's not like back in the day when we got one newspaper and we had three, maybe four channels that you had to get up and change the channel. It's a whole new world. So they need us more than we need them. So by getting that mindset and that confidence in, hey, I'm really good at what I do, now let me come up with good story ideas. So a good, your story is, and I would say we're not going to get the 60-minute expose. What we have to do is think on a higher level in terms of what is your expertise and what kinds of stories can you share with what's going on in the world right now. And I'll give an example which might really help understand how I work and how this works. One of my favorite clients I ever had was a woman who owned 14 homeless shelters in Orange County, and she wanted publicity because obviously they're a nonprofit, they get publicity, people learn about them, they donate to them. And I said, okay, great. I'm going to turn you into an expert on homelessness. She's like, no. I just own homeless shelters. I said, yeah, but you really are an expert. I said, we can get the charity on once or twice a year based around certain events, but what if we could get you on all the time? So she finally drank the Kool-Aid. She finally was like, all right, Christina, let's do this. So then, and now, because she continues to do it, anytime there's a story in the world related to homelessness, she can jump on KTLA, all those big stations in LA, because she owns 14 homeless shelters. We positioned her as an expert. So, when COVID happened and it was like homeless kids were getting their meals in the schools, how are they going to get meals now? She was the one. There was a study that came out about homeless cancer patients cannot have chemotherapy because they have to have a home to go to after the chemo. I didn't know this. She happens to have a homeless shelter designated to homeless with cancer. Boom, got her on. So when you look at the bigger picture of you as a thought leader, industry expert, you will be able to get so much more publicity. And you can see how that provides value to the audience learning about, okay, these kids, what can we do to help, our community children? What can we do to help, the homeless who have cancer? So there are stories and they're interesting to people who are watching. I always say, when you write your pitch, would you watch this on TV? Would you read an article about this? Does this jazz you up enough to go from the headline, the hook, to read it? If not, rewrite it. Is it worthy of coming up next, to get someone through the commercials?
Wow. Now, learning all of this sounds, obviously, the easy step is hire an expert like you, right? And not everybody can afford that. And I have no idea what your fees are. But do you have a kind of a course that you offer that is something that can get somebody kind of start walking through all of the steps and getting ready prior to possibly hiring you to okay, now that I understand what we need to do, what I need my team to develop, and I need to get all of our pieces of the puzzle in place. Now I need an expert to help take and get my story out there. People like you have the connections already to get those, because if if you try to learn everything and do it all, unless you're determined to make all those contacts that you did, it's going to be an uphill battle, right? So no matter how much you need the expert really to help you open the doors.
But you don't. That's so important. That it really is. And I'll talk about my course in a minute because I teach this in there too. I started out not knowing anybody. Nobody. I have in my phone now every local journalist that I can text. I was on this morning and they're all giving me hugs in the studio. I didn't know them a couple of years ago. You go in, you do a great job, you build relationships. I have the former executive producer of the Today Show in my phone. I could text her right now. Nobody opened that door. I provided value. I got that. So I want everyone to know that the sky is the limit. You can do this, and it's not hard. And that's, you asked about the course. So I do have a digital course where I go from starting to do you check out all the way through to nail your interview. Like when you get it, how do you just nail the interview so you get asked back again? Even to as much as what you should wear, how to do makeup. Yes, men, you need a little bit of makeup when you're on TV. But I go through every step of the process, and I pulled the whole curtain back. I give you everything. It's all there on a silver platter. There's templates, there's scripts. There's a database where you can actually get your media, your journalists that you want, that you have a 30-day free trial in there. So you can take this course and have success. And I know it because it's my old course that I just updated, and I gave you even more. And that's how we had the 1 billion views and the $100 million in sales.
Wow. Is that on your website?
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Work with me.
Very good. So there we are. The links are down below in the podcast notes or YouTube notes down below. By the way, if you're listening and liking the content we brought, you got questions about public relations, you can just ask them right there in the notes of the show. We'd really appreciate it. We'll get back to you. Obviously, you could come click on the links below and reach out to Christina as well. But before we go away, let's see, what other words of wisdom or any specific direction you'd like us to guide us here on your website, by the way? Is there anything you want?
Well, my words of wisdom are just do it. Just do it. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to get a no. The first time I pitched TV and I followed up, I will tell you, I was like, I just sent in a story idea, and I didn't get on, and now I'm on TV every single month. So you've got to start. You've got to get through the uncomfortable and realize that they're not this mystical, magical people. They're people who have a job just like us. They're working their butts off. They're working crazy hours. The TV people, they're editing their own stuff. If you can provide value to them, and you can wrap your head around what a gift you are to them and what a valuable resource you are to them, it will just start to flow. And media begets media. So once you start and the media check you out and they see you've already been somewhere, you're kind of vetted, and they know they can use you.
Cool. So folks, if you go check out all the links below to contact Christina and get informed, get educated, as I joke, edumacated, as I like to say, get educated on how to start setting up PR on a shoestring budget, and or hire the expert and let her run with it for you. Again, she has a free consultation that you can get on a call with her, and she can help decide, at least guide you in the right direction, or help decide if you're a good fit for her to actually work with you. But the course is available, and bang, get it done. What else can I say, folks? If you've liked the content we've brought you today, we really appreciate it if you'd give us a like, a share, and subscribe. Don't forget to share this episode with somebody who might be interested in free exposure, getting interviewed on television shows and getting press on magazines and newspapers and so on. So it's powerful media, is often called earned media. So go get it done, right? It's easy. Reach out to Christina. Thank you again, Christina. Before we wrap it up, any final words of wisdom that you'd like to give our community?
Yeah, I can't wait to see you in the media. It's a game changer. When people see that you've been there, you can charge more money, you get more clients, you get more referrals. People love to work with famous people. So make yourself famous in your industry and just soar.
Cool. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.